I'm in the podcast. I am Gam. And of course, I got my sidekick, my co host,
Miss Gogetta.
And today, y'all, well, not today, day before yesterday. What's today, the 17th? The 15th was our 5-year podcast anniversary. So it's a milestone. So I'm kind of excited to see where we're going to be at the next 5 years. I know I'm going to be old. What about you?
You say you're going to be old?
Yeah, older.
Well, of course you're going to be older in the next 5 years. I thought you said you were going to be like old. Well, I'm going to be older as well, along with everyone else. But I don't think I'm going to be old.
Oh,
That's not my hopes. But anyway, I don't want to be old. Like I'm 100. But anyway, yeah, 5 years. So how you feel? Okay, let me ask you this. When you thought about doing the podcast, did you think it would be 5 years? Like, what was your ideal time frame or how long you thought it was going to be going on?
No, I did not think of 5 years. I didn't even think that they'd go far. But you already know that, though.
Right, because you're the only person that I know that I be talking to. You quick to say, oh, I didn't think that far. And I'm like, well, how far did you think?
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't think that. It was just an idea, and it happened.
Yeah.
And before you know it, going through the motions, and we here at 5 years. So
yeah, and I think that's a good milestone because in these last 5 years, we have been invited to a whole lot of places. We have invited ourselves to a few places. We have talked to some really good people for the most part, and we have talked to a lot of people.
I think overall, we talked to some good people.
Yeah,
like they had some, some. Excuse me, some had some good things going, some didn't, but some,
See, you burping and everything. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Look,
hey,
it's our anniversary.
Yeah, so hey, that's cool. But I don't know. I know when you came to me about being on the podcast, I was like, what? A what? And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I'm thinking, but I was more so like, I'm not getting up there in front of no camera talking to nobody or saying anything. You know what I'm saying?
Why not?
Because, that was just something I just, it was outside of my norm.
Right.
So it wasn't something that I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would take a picture quick.
Yeah.
I would do a video quicker. But to sit and actually, it was the talking to people because, I just didn't have a whole lot of interest in it. And I didn't think I had really anything. I just didn't know. So I didn't think I had anything like, what am I talking about? So I really wasn't into the podcast world. So I really didn't know what to expect. And then I'm like, I don't have nothing to talk about. I'm boring. Nobody's going to want to hear what I have to say because I'm boring. And so it was interesting when you first said it. And I was like, But then, beforehand when we first started, we had other people. And it was like, oh, okay, well, they're talkers. They talk. So, yeah, okay, I can just sit there and occasionally say something back or whatever. But expecting 5 years, no. I just thought it was just going to be something we was going to do for the moment. I didn't think it was going to go as far as it has been, or the people we,
absolutely.
I didn't think we were going to talk to all the people that we talked to. I didn't think we was going to be in the rooms that we've been in. I didn't expect any of that. And now, usually, I think far because I think big picture. So I play every little thing out in my head. Like, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Then it's going to go like this. And then it's going to go like that. So, I roll it, because to me, everything is like a movie scene. And really, life is. Everything has, So, but as far as when you asked that, I was like, oh, this is just going to be something to do. Okay.
But see, I don't even know how I should feel about that because I don't know if I should take that as a slight or not because at the end of the day, it was my idea, right?
Right.
So you you were thinking that, oh, there's going to be something, another little idea, and it's
Mhm.
boom, boom, boom.
Mhm.
Ain't no way.
Yeah, I did. I just thought it was gonna be like, we were just gonna get up there, and then you remember the first show we did. It was like a mess, but it was
Absolutely.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just an example of a start. It
Right.
shows you a starting
Show your
point,
growth. Yeah.
and then you go from there, and it has changed a few times. It's changed a few times, and it's growth. And as things go, and you have things longer, and just like people, things change as you grow.
Right. Absolutely.
You have programs or people, whatever, that change, that start, fall off, whatever reason. That's just the way. That's just the cycle. You know what I'm saying, on how things go. So, and I know usually everyone knows you're the mind behind everything, so you do everything. So, during the years, over the last 5 years, and we have changed so many times.
I don't
What
think
was
we've
your
changed so
reason?
many times.
We have even changed far as like locations. We have changed
What you
even
mean
far
locations?
as
We at a new studio, yes, but that
so we have changed in the last five
okay, but
years as
that's
far as like even different locations. We started off in a building.
right. We started off right because
I don't even know what building we were
no
at.
that no when we no now don't get it twisted like we just flipping and flamming. No,
No,
when
we have.
we started out. Of course, we didn't know what we were going to do, whatever. So and the funds and stuff was kind
If
of
people was
funny,
yeah, but
you know.
but I don't know what you're talking about because we started off one spot, then we went to another
To a
spot, then
studio,
we
right?
went
We got
no
we
wait a minute. Okay, so those that been following us and watching, obviously Gam has
people go by so
forgotten.
fast.
She's forgotten. So if you've been following and watching us, can you please this is a thing. Who can tell or tell us the different you might not know the actual locations, but who can tell us how many different setups or location scenes have y'all seen in the last 5 years? Let's see who's really been following
But
us
I
can
don't care
tell
if
us
it was
that.
30. It's still good to have changed. But go ahead with your
Right, but
question.
that was what I was
But go ahead with your
saying.
question though.
So anyway, and that's what I said. I said, over years you change and you grow. But anyway, I forgot.
What's up, family? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Gam and Mz podcast. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Hit that notification button as well. So when we drop a new episode, you'll be first to know. Stay tuned to all things Gam and Mz.
So you know, over the last 5 years and when you first started, and I know you said you didn't think that far as if we was going to be 5 years, 10 years, or whatever. You just you thought about it, and you decided to jump out there and start it, right?
Right.
So, what goal did you have?
One of the goals and the only goal was to be authentic. Like, and of course, for me not to be on the camera. That was the main goal was for me not to be on the camera. The second goal was for people to be authentic because people can tell when you're not authentic. And if you're being somebody else, that's only gonna be but so long. So those were the only two things. And then after we seen, like the community in which we live was kind of like rallying, was like really in tune with what was going on. It was like, okay, we were just talking to people and the topics and doing things in our immediate range.
And it was during COVID too.
It was during COVID.
So they gave a lot of people a lot of stuff to do.
Right, but not
expect.
not even the fact that it was COVID. Just the fact that if you think about some of the topics, some of the things we were talking about, it was local people right in our area. You know what I'm saying? But then as time go on, your vision gets bigger. You start adding on things. You start,
So at
consulting
what
with
point
God.
did your vision get bigger? Because I know initially you said that you only thought about just starting it. So can you remember when you think back at what point of doing the podcast did your vision enlarge?
I would say right before the first year, or right before the first year, or a little over that hump. I realized that, oh, we got something here. we got something here. So it was like going back and forth in my mind, like trying to figure out what we're going to talk to, who we're going to talk to, and about what. And then, just start progressing from there. That's
okay. Yeah. I still was like, okay, we doing this. But I think I started seeing a change when we finally moved into the first studio. And when we was in that studio, I think when people really started reaching out, and it was like so many people reaching out about wanting to come on, and it was like, and that's when I was like, yeah, I was like, oh, okay. It wasn't necessarily a why, kind of, sort of. Well, some people it was a why. I was like, what? But I think it was really more so like okay, so people taking us a little serious, taking it serious. Unless they weren't taking it serious and they just want to come on just to be on. Right. But it's like, why would you want to waste your time to come on a show or a podcast? Some people say show, and it's a podcast. And you're not really looking at it as a serious thing yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of one of those things like, oh, okay, they taking it serious. So, and I guess when you're doing something, it's just like, I guess like even like I hear some celebs say, they don't look at themselves as celebrities. Their family don't look at them as celebrities. But I guess that there's something about you,
so
or
you
something
think you're
about.
A celebrity?
No, I'm referencing to like the podcast.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, but I guess I could be. I don't know. But no, I'm just saying.
No way.
Like in reference to like the podcast, you're looking at something that when people looking from the outside looking in and they looking at it a certain way, it's like, oh, okay. But anyway, it's the 5th year anniversary. We didn't do nothing. All the other years we kind of like did something. And I think for the 5th year, we really should have had something prepared to do.
That's absolutely true. But I think, for real though, because of the podcast, so much stuff has happened. So many things has transitioned. Like,
I guess the gala.
We're into a lot of things. So it's like, I looked at it as, one, the 5th year would be typical. So, and really don't want to do anything typical. So, I like 6 or 7 or 9 or something like that or whatever. Like, yeah, or 10, even say. But
I wonder what we'll be talking about. Hey, y'all see my pearls? Look, I even put on pearls today. I didn't put on some pearls for today. That's how special it is. You bring out the good stuff for special occasions. So we didn't.
Ain't no way in the world you talk about them cheap ass pearls.
Really?
Ain't no way.
It don't matter, y'all. It was a special occasion, so I had to bring out the pearls. Yep. Amazon, but still. I had to bring out the pearls for today.
So let me ask you this: since you got your pearls on and everything, Queen Elizabeth. Let me ask you this: so, and be honest, like when the transition happened, like far as the other hosts to just being you, because we didn't know what I was gonna do, right?
Right.
How did you feel at that moment? Like, were you nervous? Were you scared?
Yeah, I wasn't scared. I was nervous. I was like, what the? I was like, how in the world we gonna do this? So first, I just thought you was gonna well, no, I'm not even gonna say I thought you was gonna end it, because I know you wasn't gonna end it because of that, because that wasn't the main goal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Not. Right.
That wasn't the main goal, and that wasn't the focus.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew you wasn't gonna end it, but I thought you was gonna get some other people, because I know some other people was like kicking the door in, wanting the spots right before the seats can cool off. It was like, dang, even before you asking for it, and then it was like, so I really thought you was gonna meet with some of those people and bring some of them people on, but then when you was like, nah, and I was like, oh. Well, I'm not going on there by myself. I'm not going to do it by myself. That ain't going to happen. So I don't know what you're going to do. But then that's when after a while you said, you know what? I guess I just had to get out there and do it. But that was after you had spoke to someone professional. Yeah. And they told you, no, get from behind that camera and you get out there yourself. And then that's when I guess, you know, you went on and took, after you thought about it, you took the advice. And I was like, oh, okay, well, then we just got to rock and roll like that. And we've been rocking and rolling like that. And then that's when you look at things and say, well, maybe that's how it was meant to be anyway.
Or
because things start like really rolling.
right, or to add to what you just said, like, that was for that time.
Right.
Right. It was no slack or nothing like to nobody, whatever. But what we were doing, I really truly believe that it was for that time.
Right.
And being that.
But that's how a lot of
things
things
happen,
go,
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
That's life. That's why
Yeah.
I say it went along with how life goes. Just like, you know, you have people in your life for that
Season,
time.
yeah.
There's a reason and a season for everything. So that was there was a reason, whether you knew or you figured it out yet, or you knew then, you know, whatever what the reason was. You might not. You might find out later. It might hit all later. You know what I'm saying? But that was the season.
But let me say this to you, right? You've been on the podcast for 5 years, right? Since the beginning, right? I've seen you mature like so much, and you know, I think it's because of Way to Gam and Mz. Like, and I think you hold on.
Wait a minute. I don't think I matured because
you did. As far as your conversation, far as you having conversations, because you don't do a lot of small talking with people.
Right. So then that I think I have grown, into like talking.
But I was just telling you what I thought.
Not mature. Like when you say mature, it's almost
meaning,
like you were saying like I was
far
like
as your far as your conversation, far as you.
Oh, like I had immature conversation.
I mean,
you mean I?
No, I'm saying exactly what I just said.
Don't stand on that thing.
I feel like you have matured a lot, far as your conversation, far as you dealing with people, far as I would even say business wise. Like I just feel like this was a catalyst for you too. Like, and it has, like, look, you were on Coastal Live the other day.
I was on the news.
You were on the news. You were on a show.
Oh, really? That's what it was. I didn't know.
You don't even realize where you were at, and that's how God works. Like you put in the work.
Right. It is their show. Okay. You're right. It wasn't the news. I keep putting, because see, when I think of that channel, I just think of the news, and it was so early in the morning. So you're right. Okay.
But it doesn't matter. Like I was saying, that's how God works. You put in the work, and He afford opportunities that we can't even imagine. To where you ain't even know where you were at.
No, that's true.
You thought you were on the news. What, you looking for somebody?
I thought it was on the news. I mean, I thought it was part of the news. I don't know.
But I'm just saying.
But yeah, I was on that show.
So you have been afforded a lot too. Like, but what I'm saying is, do you think that? How do you think? I'm saying, do you think? How do you think you've grown from just being on the show? Honestly, like.
Yeah, what I think I have grown as far as like coming on camera and speaking. I've even stood in front of people, like a crowd, and spoke. That was something I would never do either.
You need to get Way to Gam and Mz their props then, because.
But as far as maturing, like, I don't know how to take that part that you're trying to stand on, Gam. I think your podium might be a little shaky, a little wobbly, girl, because don't stand on that one. But yes, I have, though. Honestly, I have grown as far as like speaking in front of people, or even on camera, or even like when I see people, you know, if I'm out in a room full of people. Yeah, I have, because before I wouldn't do that. If I knew you, then I talk to you. If I didn't know you, I'm not talking to you. And I'm still like that when it comes to like my private space or being in a more intimate setting with people. And meaning by that, but yeah, I'm going to talk to the ones in the room that I know. The ones in the room that I don't know, I'm not, unless I'm at a function. Now, if I'm in a room full of people I don't know and I'm at a function, then yes, I would talk to those people. But I don't know.
Do you think you would change anything about the show? Like, i.e., would you add somebody else? Would you take somebody off? Like, you know, like what? If
I take somebody off, it's either gonna be myself or you.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't. I mean,
No, bring someone else on. Even I wouldn't care if you do bring someone else on. I would say if you do, have them be lively. Cause you already like too chill. Then I'm chill. So someone else would have to be. All three of us can't be up here chilling.
absolutely. I
All
honestly,
three of us
I
can't be here.
honestly
We
do.
all just chill. And I think between you and I'm more lively than you because you like sleepy chill. Like you like sleepy chill, like to the point where you like so chill. It's like, is she awake over
Oh, I
there?
don't
You
know how to feel
chill.
about that.
Yeah, you too chill, and then I'm chill. Then we get third person that's man. All three of us be over here like this, like yeah.
But I mean, but it's nothing wrong with it because guess what? Your podcast is how you want it,
Right.
and it's a area and it's a
Right,
lane for everybody. So
my idea
right, so your
Yeah.
idea would be what?
to have somebody that's a little bit more live. I wouldn't say like all over the place live,
Right.
but like our homegirl say lit.
Hmm.
Everything is lit. They can't be as chill as we are.
Right.
Like
right,
they have to spice it up. They have to be spicy, not spice it up. Because I think, as far as what we do and how we do it, to me personally, I think it's cool. And sometimes I be like, let's do it, but it's really not us. You get what I'm saying?
hmm
It's like looking at the ratchet. That's not us. Like
Right.
it's not us. So when you go and you speak of authentic, that wouldn't be authentic because it's not us.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. Like you have to be who you are, whether in your everyday life, if you're ratchet, if you're loud, if
Now
you're
I'm
da da da, then
ghetto.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But if you definitely have to be however you are.
Yeah. But anyway, so now we didn't talk about it. Let's talk about Let's talk about like what's going on in the world today. What everybody been talking about on social media. See, you a Facebook person. I'm Instagram, right? So what they over there talking about on Facebook?
I don't know.
Oh, well, let me tell you what they talk about. Oh, I'm Instagram and TikTok. So let me tell you what they talk about on Instagram and TikTok. Wait a minute. How you not know what they talking about on your favorite social? And you
Because I
stays
don't, for
on
real,
it.
like I've got, like when I tell you, like I have,
You took a mental break for social.
yeah, but I say I have like so much going on in my mind and trying to do things that I kind of fell off, and I can honestly say, yeah, I kind of fell off on, even like with the podcast, like doing a lot of things because it's like it's so much going on, and it's like I'm just trying to figure out where we fit in, where our lane is, and not try to get sidetracked by what all the other stuff's going on.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I kind of like fell off. So
I mean,
it's
it's,
just a
but
lot of
it's
drama up
okay.
there. That's it. And I don't
It's
do
okay
drama.
to take a break because I just read something maybe about an hour ago when they I got those little cards that I be reading or whatever, and one of the cards said sometimes you have to take a break from all social and just think of your reality.
Right, because guess what? That sometimes
Yeah.
you need a break from your reality too.
And it says something about that too.
It be like a lot going on. You be like, look, I just need a break from everything,
But I
everybody.
be needing vacation for my vacation. I just want to just do a lot of vacations. If I could sit and just do a lot of vacations, I would. But anyway, so what they've been saying on TikTok and IG on social in reference to like the issue going on with China and the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't heard anything
Yeah,
about that?
I heard about that. Yeah.
So I guess Trump then did something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he done did something with China, and he didn't allegedly supposed to take China off. And now you have people in China, like a lot of the manufacturers or whatever in China, talking about how much we spend on designer stuff.
Right.
And so now people like making that a whole big thing of talking about that, the cost that they saying that they that is paid for them to make the stuff, and then the cost that they're selling it for. And then some people like this girl, an influencer earlier said, how y'all feel? She was like, she buys these items as well, so she only wanted to talk to the girlies that buy these items, not
Buy
the
the
ones that
authentic
buy the
items.
authentic items,
Right.
not the girls that buy the,
Inspired.
inspired or counterfeit or whatever items, right? And she wanted to know, she only wanted to talk to them. She was like, how, she didn't know how she should feel, but she was like, she leaned into no kind of way. And a lot of, and like me personally, I buy those items and I feel no
Oh,
kind of
you
way.
buy inspired?
Hell no. Hell no. None of my stuff is inspired. And you know, whoever choose to buy it, the inspired lookalike, whatever, that's on them.
Yeah.
I personally choose to buy what I buy, right? And I buy the actual items, so authentic items. If I can afford it, I get it. If I can't, I don't. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
But as far as them talking about the cost or whatever, that don't bother me either way. Like, it honestly makes me feel no kind of way because everything you buy, that's business.
Right.
Period. It's business. And I just feel like the only ones that's really making a big issue about it are the ones who, one, don't buy it for whatever reason or can't buy it for whatever reason. They're the only ones. The ones that can buy it and the ones that do buy it aren't making a big issue about it because that's business. Everything you wear and buy has a markup on it.
Right. That's right.
It's not, as a consumer, it's not your job to tell someone how much of a markup they can put on their item. Either you can buy it or you can't. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. That's business. Because how that look? If I paid $4 for something, how that look? I'm gonna sell it to you for $4.
Right. Right.
That don't even make sense. So if I'm in business and I want to mark it up and I want to make a profit,
Somebody's going to buy it.
yeah, and a lot of people buy it. So and then I was like, okay, so whatever issue, and this is just going all up and down the timeline. My whole thing is whatever issue is going on between U.S. and China, right? Allegedly supposed to be going on. How do you know what they're saying is really true?
Right. Yeah.
You don't really know what they're saying is true.
According
They could
to
be
Trump,
just
fake news.
right.
Yeah. Fake news.
They could be just saying all of that because they're trying to get you to get all this inspired stuff that they made, or they're trying to get you to get the counterfeit stuff that they didn't threw those people logo on, because technically when they make the item itself cheap, it's not with the logo on it. They're not doing it. And even the one of the manufacturers over there, one of the guys over there that run one of the manufacturers, he was showing and breaking down the costs, showing the materials that they use to make those Hermes bags that are like $38,000. And he said they only charge.
Would you buy one of those bags?
A $38,000 purse?
Yeah.
No. Now, $38,000 purse, no, I would not be buying one of those. I would rather buy, me a lot or a house or something, but to each his own. A lot of the girlies have them, and that's fine. A lot of the.
Let me ask you this. So what do you, like you just said, a lot of the girlies have them. A lot of the influencers have them. A lot of people with status, they feel like they have to purchase. It's like an investment for them, right?
Yeah.
So if they're purchasing those bags, like, why do you think it's a thing that they have to purchase those bags? Or should purchase those bags?
I don't know if they should. I can't say if they should. If they want to, then buy it. If you got it, then buy it. I don't think you should be robbing Peter to pay Hermes.
Right, correct.
You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense. Or I don't think you should be buying it because you're an influencer. So, of course, as an influencer, they got to do a lot to keep up. But then half the time when you see half of these people in person, you're thinking that they're doing, whatever, and you're like, what?
They're looking busted.
Yeah. And then a lot of them are getting it from, when people sell their bags.
Yeah.
And some of them are getting them already pre-used. You know what I'm saying? That's a good idea. And that's why some people consider them an investment, because you can buy those items and you can sell them on those designer resale stores and sites, because some of them have physical stores where you guys should go to. So, and you buy it, and you still going to buy it at a good cost, and it's used. So you still getting some money back, because that $38,000 bag, you probably still can get about 20 or 25 or 30,000 back from that bag, if
That's
not
crazy.
more. So it really don't depreciate.
Right.
It really don't. And versus if you go get a copycat, you can't resell that. All that
That's
you
true.
can do is trash that because half of the time it starts unraveling and falling apart anyway.
I think my thing is, like you were just saying, like people buy what they can afford or buy what they
Yeah.
want, or whatever. It's nothing wrong with getting inspired stuff. I mean, I personally don't get it, but my thing is, people go out and they get this designer stuff, right,
Hmm.
and then just say like a purse, but you don't have a decent wallet, and then not even a decent wallet, you don't have $20 in that wallet.
Well,
So
yeah.
it's like, I think some people have it twisted, like, you sitting there trying to impose to somebody like you like that,
Hmm.
but you really not, and half of them can't even pronounce the names.
Right. That's true. I just think that if you can't get it or whatever, it's fine. Don't get it. But
Don't
I
hate on
just
somebody else for getting it. Yeah.
yeah. But then a lot of people get it just so they can say they went and got it, so they'll go get like the Inspire or the knockoff or whatever. But if it's not a big thing, like I was reading some of the comments on the girl page, my thing is if it's not a big thing, because you say, oh, it's da, 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 it ain't even worth it. Da, da, I'm getting it. If it's not a big thing for you, then why are you so eager, and why is it a big thing for you to want to go get the Inspired or the knockoff one?
Right.
If it's not a big thing, you be like, oh no, let me go to this one or this store or whatever to get my purse. But as far as that goes, no, I don't feel no certain kind of way about it
Hmm.
because shucks, as far as I know, they've only paid $2 to make this shirt. But I know they're gonna wear. I didn't pay $2 for it. So everything has a markup. Everything. Your car has a markup. It don't take them that much to make that car. It didn't take them that much to make my car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you think about stuff like that, unless you get into actually making your own stuff, even people that that make T-shirts, if they selling you a T-shirt for $20, $25, trust me, it didn't. That T-shirt was not $20 when they went and got it.
Right.
But they got to make their money. So I don't get the point of the point people are trying to make. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
I
It's
don't
like
get it
pointless
either.
to me. Like you make it a pointless point.
I don't. What are three things that people may say about you? I took your question from another interview that we did. What?
Really?
Yeah, I did. What are three things you think people would say about you, off the top of your head?
Um, I think they would say I'm bougie because that's something I've always heard. And I don't know why people say. I think people say that it's supposed to be an insult, but it's not an insult to me. Um, because I am, and what? And I think they would say those that know me would probably say I'm funny, or they would probably say I'm crazy. Those that know me would say I'm funny and I'm crazy. Um, I don't know. I don't know another one.
So those are three things. They would say you funny, you crazy,
But
and
crazy
that
and
you're
funny,
bougie.
I would say go together.
Okay, so then you don't know two things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I think they would say about me. What
Mm.
you think they would say about me?
Definitely bougie. They would say that you are quiet.
Oh yeah, that
They would say
might
that
be
you're
one.
quiet. They would say that you bougie, quiet, and standoffish.
That's a good one. Standoffish. Okay, and I am. I am. I really am. I just don't dive in. Like when I walk in a room, I do. I have a habit of and it's a good habit. I think I read the room,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a people watcher.
You
Um,
definitely nosy, smart people watching. You nosy.
yeah, no, but for real though, it's like I watch people and I feel people energy. I'm an energy person. So if you a little off, mm-mm, I'm
Mm.
not gonna say nothing to you. I'm not gonna deal with you, and I'm gonna keep it moving. Um, yeah. But those that know me, yeah, I am a little. I guess I am a little crazy, but I just like to laugh.
Yeah.
I would prefer to laugh to anything else because, ooh, if I have me a good laugh, I'd be like, ooh, I had a ball. They'd be like, well, what did you do? I laughed all night. I'm like, what? Yeah, if I'm laughing, I had a ball. To me, that's a ball.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, but why you say definitely bougie?
Because I was piggybacking off of what you said. Yeah, definitely people will off top say that you're bougie, but when they really get to know you, they know that you're like bougie ghetto.
Yeah, I'm
So
bougie ghetto, but I don't mind being called bougie, and I am because
you I don't think you're bougie. I think you're bougie ghetto.
yeah, I am.
You I don't think you're
I'm
all the way
bougie and I'm
bougie.
ghetto at the
Absolutely
same
not.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Those that know me would know me a little bit more ghetto. Those that don't know me was like
So I think
bougie.
when people experience you and get around you, they be like, oh, she
Oh,
ain't that bad after all.
mm.
No,
So
because you don't be saying like no. When I'm not throwing a shot, because people perception of
yes,
you
you are.
is their perception of you, right?
Yeah, that's
So
their
and you
perception. That's
don't
their
you're the
opinion.
type where off top you ain't just letting nobody in. So they could be doing cartwheels. You look at them like, okay, good cartwheel, but and what else you got?
Yeah,
You
like
know what I'm
good
saying?
God, but
So,
why are you doing it?
but once people really get to know you, they were like, oh, she mad cool, like she good people, and I and a couple of other people have um taken up for you with other people because they be like,
And
man,
what did I say to y'all? I'd be like, why? Why y'all felt the need
I
to do
mean, I
that?
don't know.
Cause what? Cause trust me when I tell you I didn't stay up the night thinking about it. Trust me when I tell you I didn't lose my appetite or none of that.
Absolutely not.
Didn't lose.
Absolutely.
No. Why are you doing that?
If you could,
Because I don't take it as an insult when someone say you bougie. I don't take that as an insult, and I guess some people think it's supposed to be an insult, and it's not. If you look up the word bougie, it's not an insult.
right.
Yeah, and that's your opinion, and you know what they say about opinions. So that's the way I look at you and it. So I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't stuff like that. I don't care about. And to some people they care about stuff like that. I don't. I don't feel the need or the urge to be everybody's favorite or be in everybody's space or everybody be in my
I don't
space
think that
or liked.
being I don't think being liked or being somebody's favorite or being that has anything to do with not being bougie. I mean, not you know
No, I said when people say it like they saying it like it's supposed to be a bad thing.
right
People say the word or use it as if it's something bad.
derogatory to
Right,
you.
and
You
it's
think
not.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's not at all. Is what I'm saying.
Mm.
So it's like I don't like her 'cause she bougie. Oh, she ain't.
You stuck
I don't
up. Yeah.
care. Yeah, I don't care about none of that.
Well, it's evident that we know that. Anybody knows you know that. If anybody don't know, then they
They'll
will
find
know.
out.
They quick to find out.
Find out.
quick to find out.
Yeah. But I think these last 5 years has been a ride,
Yeah.
and I think as people, if they've been watching the podcast or even listening to it, because everybody don't watch, they
Right.
listen
Mhm.
on the other platforms. They only watch it on YouTube and Facebook, but all the other platforms they listen. I think over the years, if they really been watching, then they would see or hear
Mhm.
to like figure out like how I am or who I am. They might not know who I am 100%, but they can get an idea for those that didn't know. They can learn. So
Mhm.
you watch the podcast, y'all. Those you new.
Yeah, cause I've had people come to me. They be like, "Man, Miss Go Getter, she be cutting them up," and I just be there for it. And I be like, "Oh my God, like this lady gonna sit here and don't come up here and lie, or don't come up here and
I
I ain't gonna say
feel
lie.
it.
Don't come up here and something she don't understand or something you said, cause we all can say things and
Gotta
forget
make
what we
sense to
said,
me.
right? But you sitting there, I'm talking, they sitting there, they talking, she listening, right? And so she be like, "Well, no, cause you said no.
Yeah,
Let
it
me
may
go
not
back,
make
cause you
sense.
said," and they be like, "What? We didn't forget all about it, or I didn't. I heard them, but I'm trying to slide down in my seat because I'm like, oh my God, here she come."
Yeah, it's like that was crazy talk.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
people do it all the time. Woo, people do it all the time. We done
yeah.
had people up here. Man, we done had people up here that be telling the whole. Well, it's their truth, I guess.
Mhm.
It's their truth, so you can't really say. And then some of it is their truth with the extended version. That's not true. And then you have people that'll go, oh no, that ain't true what they're telling y'all, and we be telling people like if it's not true, people gonna hit us up and tell us, because you got to remember, a part of your story is always attached to someone else's story. You know what I'm saying? So if you telling us your story and you telling us the whole story, it's gonna be attached to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now we had them hitting up going, nope, they told a whole lie. That ain't how it went. But that's there. This one have this perception of how it went. Then you have this one that's like, oh no, it went like this. So it's like, oh my gosh.
Right. But this is my thing though. I think what ticked me off a couple of times is like people. That's like you said. People reach out and they say X, Y, and Z, and it's like, oh, they came on your show and they was lying to y'all.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like like you said, we do tell people before. Make sure you have your stuff together because you got to realize like this may open up a can of worms for you. So
Yeah.
are you ready for the backlash? Are you ready
Yeah.
for people to find out what's going on? Are you ready for people to peek in or whatever the situation is? But my issue is when people be like, oh, y'all need to get them because they came up there line. What? What's
Nah,
that?
ain't
This
y'all to
not
get
no
them.
Jerry Springer. Like, we don't care
Right.
nothing about that. If you reach out or we reach out to you and we've had that conversation and this is what we're going to discuss or whatever, and then we go from there.
Yeah.
It ain't no,
We're not getting nobody. We're not gonna call them back up
No.
and ask somebody like, yeah,
Not
they
doing no-
came and lied, but they know they lied. And then I'm pretty sure if they had people that know them watching it, they done said something to them about why you go out there and lie. You know what I'm saying? So trust, we let them know. Like, trust, the people hit us up in the DM or the inbox
yeah.
all the
Or
time.
say something. Yeah, that's what they
It
say
be
something too.
all
Yeah.
soon we
You
get
can
off
be in
the
a barbershop,
air.
like getting your eyebrows done. They be like,
Whew.
such and such. I'm like, what? Oh, I care nothing
Yeah.
about that.
And
I
I
really
think to me that's the funny part. That'd be the funny part to me, cause it's like, what? Like, really? Or either I'll say, I told you, like I'll tell her, oh no, they told a lie, right? She be like, nah, cause they said, that didn't even make sense.
Cause she going on what somebody else saying.
No, I'm saying proud too. There have been times when I told you like somebody gonna say something, and I told you I don't be feeling it. I'd be like, nah, I don't feel that, and then you go, somebody hit the inbox and said, hating to tell me, hating to let me know I was right, hating it. Somebody hit the inbox. Oh, when they hit the inbox? 3 days ago. Hating to tell. I told you. And I'd be like, but I don't say nothing, y'all. I don't be going, I told you.
The last, you be like, you hate, no, she said, you hate to give me my credit. I be telling you, but no, you don't believe me. You don't give them that to you, but somebody tell you, be like, oh, okay.
Yep.
And I be like,
That's
yeah,
true.
because,
That's true.
because it's like, to me, I really don't care if somebody come up here like, now, what we're not going to do is, if we know off top, you coming up here with some mess, like we not playing them games. But overall, if we having a conversation with you and then, I could kind of turn it off a little bit, I like I don't hear y'all or something like that or whatever. But with her, it's just she can't do it. It's like somebody got their hand in her head and she just like she getting a little antsy. But me, I can just be like, oh, okay, all right, cool, whatever.
Like, that ain't.
Yeah, but she don't.
That ain't true.
So I do hate to say, like, majority of the time, you were right. So has there anybody on that you think that we shouldn't have had on? And the second part of that question is, do you think people have came on to benefit themselves, to put themselves out there?
Now you're asking me questions that you already know the answer to.
I'm just saying. We're just trying to get it on record before we wrap it up.
Yes, and I have made you aware of that. Yes, all of that is true. There have been times where people came on that I didn't think should have came on, and there has been times when what did you say? Whatever it was you just said, I didn't forget that quick. It was true.
Don't you get for trying to be shady? See, that's
but it was true though. It was true because I have shared that with you, so you already know. I mean, and I understand that, even if I don't think, because, y'all, let me tell y'all about Gam.
Let me tell him my business.
Gam thinks everybody should come on. I don't.
No, absolutely not. No,
Wait a minute, hold on,
absolutely not.
hold on.
No, I ain't biting that one. No, ma'am.
No, she
No,
does,
ma'am.
y'all. I don't. However, I'm not the one that always come up with, the show idea, meaning the title and discussions and stuff, or the people. So, and that's what she do. So she'll come up and she'll say, and I'll be like, why? Not saying that they don't deserve to tell their story, but I do feel like if I don't think, I don't know, sometimes I just feel as though some people do stuff just to come on personal gain. That's what you said. They'll say or do stuff just to come on for their personal gain. And so they'll come up with a whole quote unquote storyline. Almost like how you know how you see
On reality TV.
reality shows and they be like, oh, they don't have no storyline. Why are they here? Oh, they making that up. This and the third. I do feel like there have been a time, a few, where people did that, but their intentions was to come on just to be seen, or just to talk about what they want to talk about, although they was already told we're not talking about that. They can't come on and talk about, whatever. And then they'll get here and they'll do exactly that. And Gail would be like, no, you can't do that. But it's like, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. But yeah, so the answer to that question is yes and yes. Yes and yes. Oh, so the three, would you ask me, three things people might say about me? What are three things people might say about you?
That's crazy. I knew you were going to ask me that question, and I had them in my head, but now they're gone.
I had to wait and talk about other things instead of saying, what about you?
Right. I knew that wasn't going to come after that, though. I did know that. I think I've been doing long enough to know that. I kind of read you. I would think that people would say that, a lot of people say I'm mean.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard that before. They were like, I haven't heard it recently since the podcast, actually, but that doesn't mean that people don't say it. I just,
Okay.
But I've heard that I was mean. I've heard, I would think they would say I'm mean. They probably would say that, I'm laid back. Laid back and cool. The third thing they probably would say is, I don't take no mess. But other than that, I
think number two.
That I'm laid back, cool.
Yeah. Number two. The other stuff,
no. I don't know. But at a point in your life where
I don't think
when life is life and when life has happened, I know for me, I really don't care what anybody think about me no more.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, like, I'm not gonna say I never really cared, because I cared to a certain extent. But now it's like I don't care. I don't care what you think, because 9 times out of 10 what you think isn't what it is. So, in whatever you think, I don't move to that anyway, so it don't matter.
Yeah, because and I guess you shouldn't either, because everybody else doing what they want to do, and the ones that would be judgy are the main ones doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So why would you worry about them? And they the main ones that wouldn't really probably wouldn't even spit on you if you was on fire. So why would you even worry about that?
Right. And we've even had people say, y'all should do this on the show, or y'all should do that, or whatever, and not saying that we don't take advice or anything like that. But when you have a vision, when you have a plan, you kind of like know when it's something that you should be listening to and something that you shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree with that in a way too, but I think it's okay to take reasonable suggestions. Something that would fit in is something that will go along with your personality and with who you are.
I'm not,
right? No, I'm just saying that I said that I'm just saying that I do think some opinions, but if someone says an opinion like, "Oh, I think you should do something wild and crazy," and that's not you. If you're not gonna come in and do flips.
I just know what I probably listen to and what, and I can't I can't explain it to you, but
Yeah.
I just a feeling that I get.
Yeah.
So, and so
You
some of them
can't take it
things
from
have been
everybody.
incorporated in it. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? And because like you know, even though you said that you're a little more wilder than me or whatever, like the more I think about it, the conversations that we've had, the meetings that we've had in regards to the podcast is like your thing be like, well, we done changed so many times. You have to change. You have to be able to roll with the punches. You have to figure out, okay, should we be going left? Should we be going right? Should we do this? Should we do that? And we don't know until we try those things. So when
Right.
you're going through the growing motions, you know what I'm saying, the growing stages or whatever, you're just trying to figure it out. So I think that overall where we're at now, we're where we supposed to be. Do I think where do I think personally we're where we should be? Absolutely not. Because I think one way, but at the end of the day, God has, you know, has is orchestrating this, so we're going according to his plan. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, you know, I think back like over the time, like our topics have changed, our people have changed, our a lot
Yeah.
has
The
changed, but it's
audience
been
have
good.
changed.
Our
Everything.
audience have definitely changed.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing people out. I was out at Sam's the other day, and lady said, "Hey," I said, "Hey." She was like, I was like, "Hey." I took a picture like that lady. Oh, I said, "Oh my God!" I told my cousin, I said, "Oh my
You in
God!"
this
Like,
old word.
I'm just saying she's older, so we have a when I look at demographics, like I can't remember the age, but we're definitely mid 30s and up. You know what I'm saying? Which is good because we're talking about things of substance and things like that. So you know, people need it. People need it. We definitely talk about everyday topics, everyday people.
Yeah.
So that's just, you know, that's just what it is.
Yeah, it is.
So 5 years. So yeah, 5 years. Like that's been a minute.
We should have had something though. Did something. I don't know. Have a big crab fest or something. I don't know.
Perfect.
Just throwing
Yes.
something out
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, but we had the gala, so that kind of like that was in April, so that was a little too.
And you know what? And we can count that and can't count that at the same time. We're part of WGM&x. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you know people were hitting us up like about paying light bills and about doing things. I never tell you that.
No.
Yeah, early on, people were reaching out because they needed help because they looked at us as a community thing. So now we've outgrown the community thing, and we are above. I'm gonna say above. We are outside of our local area, right? So people don't look at us as, oh, I
Wait a
need
minute.
this, or you know, or what resources? Yeah, because you know what we're doing a lot of things in the community. Like we're doing the back to school drive, like that started with Wait
Yeah.
Again a Minute. You know what I'm saying? So like that or whatever. That didn't start with that impact. We were already doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
Now you know, talking about was hitting us about light bill. Now
yeah, early on.
we a whole podcast. We just up here chit chatting.
But they were looking at the people that was coming on and the resources.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people were like, do y'all know somebody
Oh,
do
we
such
had
and such
somebody
and
up there
such?
that was
Do-
doing paying light bills and stuff.
I'm just saying, like, doing
Oh.
different stuff.
Oh.
No, I don't know who
No,
paying
you ain't
like
told
this.
me that.
I have because early on, because you might have forgot, but
Yeah.
I can show you the inboxes from it.
That's crazy.
I mean, you know, people.
I mean,
needed
I
help, so
understand
they reached
people
out.
reaching out to whoever they can, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, but no.
Yeah, so I think
Anyway, so yeah, a lot has taken place. You're right. In 5 years, it actually seems shorter than that, but it seems longer than that. You get what I'm
it don't
saying?
seem it. I don't. Do I?
Because man, we done been here, we done been there, we done talked this one. I don't know. But let me ask you this. So, you know, all the places that we have been invited to and we have been in the rooms we have been in, have you ever questioned why you was in that room or felt like you didn't belong in that room? I have done that like maybe a time or two. I was like, wow, why am I in this room? Or should I even be in this room? And then, you know, sometimes I had to like kick in and be like, hell yeah, I should be in this room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if anything, they might not need to be in this room. But it's like, you know, sometimes, you know, you got to talk to yourself
Pump
and
yourself
pump
up.
yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have you ever? that?
Mm-hmm. A lot.
Really?
Yeah. And then, you know, a lot. A lot. And I've even talked about it on like Mondays on What before. Just feeling inadequate or feeling like, how did I get here? Then like, why am I here?
Yeah.
It seems like everybody here, shakers and movers, they doing something. So then you
Yeah.
start questioning yourself. Well, I ain't shaking and moving. I ain't doing, But then you realize like when
You shaking and moving, you might feel like you're not shaking and moving
at their
level.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But still in my mind,
yeah,
I feel like we should be X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and when people be like, they be like, oh, you from the podcast, oh, they the podcast. And to me, I be downplaying the podcast a lot because it's like, it's a podcast. But people be like, oh, and I don't know I know you experienced too because you've been out and people been hollering, like, I tell you all the time, like, when they say something to you, just wave. You ain't got to know their name, just wave. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, yeah, who are you? What's your name?
But I've downplayed the podcast a lot too.
Oh, okay.
And
why?
I don't know, cause I just be like, oh, it's like people be like,
oh, so you're looking at it compared to them.
Da 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 da. And I'm like, I went to the dentist a couple of months ago, and they was like, oh, he said, can I come on the podcast? I said, you sure can.
And that's another thing. A lot of people say that though. Every time we go somewhere, the first thing they say is, oh, how can I get on the podcast? Mm-hmm. And you looking at, and I guess the thing about that is, you're in these rooms with these big business people, these executives and these politicians and all of these big millionaires, right? So you looking at like, okay, y'all doing X, Y, and Z. And then if you mention, the podcast or whatever, or they see the name tag, saying the podcast or, the seating chart or whatever, and they become more interested in you than you are in them. And that's the part that make me go, wow, like you a whole, big time, such and such, and you interested because you see my name thing or my seating thing say, way to get him in the podcast. Not only do you like, oh my God, I like that name. Now you want to sit here and talk to me about the podcast, and I want to sit here and talk to you about being the VP of such and such airlines. You know what I'm saying? Right. You sit here and I want to talk to you about that, and you want to talk to me about the podcast and how can you come on, and that's like just crazy to me. That's when I be like, wow, okay. Right. All right, but how can I get some of them discount tickets? You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm thinking about that. But
I don't know. I think, but, and then when I sit back and I think about it, like what we've been doing 5 years, and like you said, some of the places that we've been afforded to attend and things we've been, able to do, I thank God because I was like, we have been doing some things, and we've been doing it blindly, like wasn't no handbook or nothing like that. It wasn't something that we saw somebody else doing and we was like, oh, let's go jump on that and do that. It wasn't none of that. So it was like for us to do it and to be where we are, and even like some of the accolades that we had, like sometimes make me like really teary-eyed. I be like, God, like I see you, like, oh man, like we really doing something. So yeah, 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. So
Woo! So y'all, those who have been riding with us for the last 5 years, we thank you and continue to ride on with us.
Definitely.
And those who are new, just keep watching. You can go back and listen and watch some of our old stuff from 5 years or the last 5 years.
Don't watch too much old. Like,
she don't like when you look at the first 1, 2, 3, 4.
No.
But no, look at those too, so you can see the growth. You can't start on year 2 or year 4. You will see a growth then too, but you gotta go to year 1.
I mean, it was just like the echoes. It was just like, but
day 1 is where it's at.
Yeah.
And you be like, what is going on?
Because you know what? And I'm just gonna wrap it up. Y'all remind me of the first season of Housewives of Atlanta. When I tell you that makeup was bad, the hair was bad. No, y'all didn't have none. I'm just saying, with
First year housewife.
with them, their makeup was bad.
It
like
was dark.
hair, everything.
The lighting was dark and everything.
Like, it was just, and then look at y'all, I be like, y'all laying all across the table, scarves on your head, the things falling. It's just like, what?
I'm looking like a deer headlight.
I mean,
we like action, we like this. Like
right.
this, like, oh my God, is it on? Is it on?
But overall, though, it's been a good ride. It's been a good time. Like we've learned a lot. We've shared a lot. We've laughed a lot. I've cried a lot. Still crying. But overall, you cried a couple. You cried a couple good couple times too. Miss Gogetta.
Look, don't try to put me under the bus because you under the bus. Now you try to put me under the bus too. See, that's that shady fake stuff. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I was crying. Oh, you cried too. No.
Because you don't normally cry. So when I see her get teary-eyed or whatever, or eyes get big like they about to
I don't even
pop
know what
and roll
show
on the
that
floor
was,
any
but
second.
I'm sure it's happened. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, wow. But,
yeah. But you see how people do? They want to talk about this, but they want to throw you under there too because they don't want to go by themselves. Yeah.
Exactly. So with that being said, guys, stay tuned to All Things Way to Gam and Mz.
Good night.